She's like, I'm driving, but I didn't want to miss Kimberly's talk.
Oh, well, I'm
Yep.
sick and I didn't want to miss my own talk. So here I am.
Oh,
I
well,
have a Zoom mullet where you only do like the front half of your hair.
you look beautiful, and I would
I
never know you
know.
were sick. Sorry. I did see your message in the chat, but yeah.
We're good. We're good. We got this. Power through. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Ready to kick it off?
I'm ready to kick it off. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. So I broke it down basically into four main steps. And this is going to be like proper networking if you're trying to make those bigger connections, like those big connections that you would make at in-person networking. So the ones that are either going to buy your stuff or what's even better is make actual good referrals to you, right? Step one is you need to make, I use Russell Brunson's formula of the hundreds list. You can do whatever the number is, but you have to do your research. So I make a hundreds list of LinkedIn people that I want to connect with. I don't just do it like willy-nilly. I don't just like do a search and guess and connect with everybody. I make a list of these are the people that are going to help me move the needle. These are people that I want to either be my client, refer me to clients, whatever. Like these people I want in my network. Make that list. You take it a little bit deeper. So I do like a full-on spreadsheet, but like you don't have to be that crazy. And then you want to look at from this hundreds list, how active are they on LinkedIn? Because we all know seriously, as we want to take LinkedIn, we aren't always that active, right? So you want to look for who on that list is the most active. So you go to their profile, you look at their activity, their posts, and they basically say, you can see based on their activity how active they are. So those people I put on the top of my list because they are the most likely to engage with me. Okay. I have my list. I know who I'm trying to connect with. I know who the most active are. Um, then for like 1 to 2 weeks. And it sounds like a lot, but just trust me, this is a long game and it freaking works. 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to go in and you're just going to thoughtfully engage with them. And I'm sure you all know this method. It's not unknown, but before you even friend request them, this is really important. Before you send that friend request out, start to engage with their stuff. So if I comment and I comment and I comment with and I at their name so they see my name in their feed all the time. So after a week of seeing your name in their feed, just supporting them, asking thoughtful questions, like with no other intention, then I send a friend request. And I just tested this theory because I watched a training that told me that friend requests with no like words get a better request rate. I was like, there's no way. But they do. I tested it. And in the last 2 weeks, I did this method and sent just a friend request after I followed them, commented on some things, just a friend request, no words, no nothing, no pitch, no anything. Um, and the acceptance rate for that, once you do this method, is so much higher. Now comes like the actual fun part, well, for me. And this is like the bread and butter. This is where most people on LinkedIn kind of fuck it up, right? Where we go in hard. We don't have a lot of time. We need to like get in, get out. We don't have time to, we just want to pitch. We want to know, like, are you interested? Are you not interested? Like, are you my people? Are you not my people? And that is where we all fuck it up. Because how many of y'all have gotten that pitch? Like you connect with somebody and then within 5 minutes, they're like, hi, I'm so-and-so and I'm from this and I do this. And do you want to get on the call? And you're like, whoa, babe, like I don't even know you like that. Like I am not ready. Imagine if like, it's too much. And on the internet, we're all so freaking skeptical. So this is why I say it's a long game. That's why I say to make that hundreds list because you're going to take some time. And this is where you're going to go in and you're going to look at their profile, you're going to look at their posts, and you're going to find talking points that you can start a conversation with them that have nothing to do with work. Isn't that tricky? Um, because this is the key. 99% of people that have referred me to my biggest clients knew me personally. They know, like, and trust me as me. And because of that, they're willing to go beyond. So you need to have like this needs to be your friend. Like you need to actually network as if you're pals, work wife. Like I go into the mentality of like, this is going to be my new work husband or my new work wife. And then you start to talk to them about talking points that have nothing to do with business or work if you can. Right. So I know some of you probably have a little bit more corporate stuff. So with that, you can stick to business, but you really need to find a deeper connection that's deeper than I'm a this person, you're a that person. I do this for work, you do that for work. So for me, I'm gonna tell you guys the talking points that I use. but obviously we're all wildly different, so it's not going to work. I love sports. So sports is an easy one for me. Like, if I knew you're from Canada, I'm gonna talk hockey for you with you, or hopefully talk hockey with you. Sports, books. That's actually books and podcasts are a really good one. Really good openers for people in the LinkedIn space because if they're your people, like my people read books, listen to podcasts. So an easy opener that I might do after I liked their stuff for a while and then think, hey, I saw your post on blah, blah, blah topic. Do you know any good podcasts or any good books on that? So we're starting a conversation we're just starting a conversation and you're finding common ground. And then you're continuing that over. And like, there's no time limit for this. You're basically just building a rapport to where you're not just, and I'm just going to use you as an example because you're in my space. You're not just Elena from social media. You're Elena who, oh my gosh, she's doing this fitness competition and she's so dedicated and she owns an agency. Like, so now you're not just your job, you're this job and you're this expanded version of this person in your mind. And like, so Elena, for you, like that fitness competition is going to be a great, if you can find people that are into fitness and also own businesses, like that's a great in. Right. So find your in. And for each of us, it's a little bit different because we all have very different interests. Like my interests, I have a very masculine interest. Most of you guys know me, so you know that I have very masculine interests. So for me, it's easy to do that with men because they're not expecting me to talk sports with them or not expecting me to talk about going mudding. But I can do the same thing with women. And there's common ground with everybody. So find that common interest, start to make that connection. And then that's where it just gets natural, right? That's where it just gets so, but you have to have the mentality of not the mentality of, and we used to teach a different method 5 years ago. We taught the do it quick and do it hard method, like just mass message everybody and it's numbers and it's not. And everybody that come into this program would be like, they didn't want to waste their time. They didn't want to blah, blah, blah. But like, we all know this as business owners or as working, like, if you have potential to get a huge client or multiple referrals, like that's not wasting your time. If I'm going to get a 5-6 figure client from you in 6 months, me spending 2 minutes a day, twice a week, looking at your profile and engaging, that's not that much time for the even out. So, and I'll be transparent. Like it takes, if anybody's listening to this and you're like, that seems a little ick. Like, I don't know how naturally it would do that. It just takes like time. So I literally like mentally you have to go in like this is going to be, and you choose your word. I call them my work wife or my work husband because that's who I want to know them. I go in like I already know them because remember on the internet, especially on LinkedIn, because we get pitched in the DMs. We don't even want to look at our DMs because it's just straight pitches. You need to stand out and their guard is up. So you need to find a way to break that down. And it's not a one message way. And this is where I think most people mess up on LinkedIn. We think if we do one message of connection, that message is going to break down that wall. And it's not true. Like I'll give it Andrew, who talked to us a few weeks ago. We messaged on LinkedIn about something and he's a copywriter. So, and I literally was not ever trying to pitch Andrew. This is just how I function now. But I was like, oh, I am a dork about copywriting books. I like old school books that are like paper bound. And he's like, what? And I sent him a picture of the book that I like, but nobody's ever heard of it in the million. He's like, I know that book. So then we started to form a bond over what we were reading. And then we were reading the same book at the same time. And once we had that connection, that bond, we realized that, okay, you're my person. Like not my person, you know what I mean? But you're my network person. And now we feel very comfortable to send people referrals. This was in a matter of 2 weeks, right? And it was fun and it was easy. And I call him the same thing happened with this gentleman. I call him I call him my work husband. I don't think he knows that. But we were in the same program. We started following each other, sort of like my stuff. And the same thing, we started talking. And this is the second option as far as like how to get that in. Because naturally, once you get to that, they've already looked at your profile. They already know what you do, right? And that's when you can start to talk shop. That's when you can start to really hone in. And the way that I like to do it is I'm all about you. Like if this was me and Lily, I would be like, all right, Lily, like you're fucking awesome. I love what you do, your passion. Who is your target audience? And give me like a brief overview of what you do. I'm sure I have somebody in my network and I want to add you to my referral list. And I don't say it like that crunchy. I say it more casual than that. Like, let me know like who you serve. And if I know them, I'm gonna send them your way. And then and then I don't just leave it at that. I really engage in that. So like if Lily says, I serve, I'm making this up. If Lily's like, I serve like single moms that are divorced. I'd be like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, how did you get into that niche? Like, I want to understand why she does it, because the more that I understand why she does it, the more that I can promote her. But then vice versa, me being just genuinely interested in her, it's just natural. They're going to come back and ask you the same thing. And I always do it first because I want to just put that out there. Um, a few notes. Oh, sorry, I went too far. Another way to get to that, like, are they a potential networking / client is, and I know that y'all, half of y'all are gonna be like, nope, we're not doing this, but it's freaking works. And this works better for me for high ticket clients, right? So when you're talking to somebody for a while, you're bantering, it's going back and forth, you have a connection, you're building it up. I offer them, if they're down for advice, like I give them advice that I would give to my clients, and like advice that people would pay for from a stranger on the internet. And that, I don't think you should do this for everybody. You need to test it out. You need to make sure that like they're like the level. So I'll give it, the example was this guy, he's doing like $500,000 a year. He has a software as a service company. Like he's doing his shit, right? So it's not like I'm giving it away to somebody who could never afford me. It's his first time in webinars. And I was like, oh, bro, this is my world. Like, let me tell you all about it. So I'm giving advice, and now it's going to be a potential client, a big ticket client. So those are like the two things that kind of get you to that client era, but you have to build that other part first. And then my bonus for you guys is you have to just get ready for rejection. Like, and you have to get ready for the long game, and that's why I call it the hundreds list. Like, just because you message them, like you were liking their stuff and friend requested and they didn't say yes or whatever, like they're still on your list. Like, it's not dead. And with LinkedIn, not everybody's on there. So like, just get ready for rejection. Like, don't get, for lack of a better term, butthurt if the first 5 people that you start to talk to don't really want to talk to you. Yeah, the internet's scary. Most people on LinkedIn just want you to buy my stuff or do a freaking discovery call with me immediately. So you have to get prepared for rejection, because yes, you should definitely. So Kelly asked, shit, other questions? The pitch drove me to delete my LinkedIn account in the past. All of us, we all have, which is why people are going to be apprehensive when you first start to do this, is why I say get ready for rejection. But Kelly, when we connect, it should be connect versus follow. Absolutely. And for anybody that's wondering, so when you go into somebody's profile and they have a certain number of connections and followers, it's going to automatically prompt you to follow. Like if you go to my profile right now, I think we're all friends. It'll prompt you to follow because I have a decent number of connections. So just click on the little 3 dots at the very end of that, and you should have a drop down that says connect. Always connect. Follow, you'll still see their stuff, but you won't actually get to like message them properly. Yeah, and do we have questions? I know it's probably, it's like, this is not what y'all wanted to hear, but it works.
No, we did.
Okay.
I love it.
I really appreciate the thinking about the strategy behind it and like the intention of a long game versus like just trying to be like, bah, 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 bah. So thank you.
Do you know, I was thinking though, like when, a lot of MLM will tell you to, send messages on Facebook, right? And we're all like ready for it. We'll get like the personal message like, oh, Elena, I see you're getting ready for another show. Like, have you tried this It Works product or whatever, And so like, I do think that we're so guarded for that on Facebook for those like personal in questions, but I don't think as much with like LinkedIn, like on Facebook, if somebody was like, oh, you're into bodybuilding, what got you into that? I would immediately be like, this bitch is just trying to sell me something. But like, if someone does it on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, they don't want this to just be 100%, business connection, professional. Like they're trying to actually get to know me personally. I will say though, too, like, so since we started this group, obviously I'm super active on LinkedIn and have way more insights and whatnot going. I just randomly had somebody find me, and they're a photographer in Tampa, a male, and he was very personable, like you're talking about. And like photographers could be a good referral partner for me, but typically they just want me to refer them to people. They don't typically refer social media. And he ended up like asking me if we could have a meeting, like have a coffee. And I was just like, oh yeah, here's my link. And he's like, oh, you'll only meet on Zoom. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the most efficient. Actually, I think he asked me for lunch. So anyways, it kind of felt more like he was trying to hit on me. Like through
So
LinkedIn.
you gotta weed those out.
Yeah.
Because that's
But
gonna happen.
I mean, I told him I'd meet him for a Zoom because to me, it's like, I have no problem meeting you virtually. I'm just not interested in meeting you in person, But
Yeah.
point being, like, I think that it is great. It's just personally, I think my list would be all female. My 100 list would be all female because that's just
totally fine.
me.
If that's
and the
who
way
you
that
connect with. Yeah.
No, because I prefer male business owners as my clients. They're usually the ones that are just like set it and forget it because they don't know how to do social media and they see like the value in paying somebody else to do it. My female clients are the ones that are always nickel and diming, always looking at how they're spending their money, always nitpicking fonts and colors and how they look. Oh my gosh, how they look. Oh, I don't like how I look in that. And it's like, well, I can't change your face. So anyways,
So maybe your target is women that know men. So either they're married or they work in male-driven industries because that's a big fucking thing. Like women that work in construction, there's like 5 of them, but they know all the construction owners, and the women know the in because the women that work in male-dominated industries. And I'm sorry we're going over time, but I know this well because I worked in a male-dominated industry. Women that work in male-dominated industries know the men in their industries on a deeper level because we take the time to like ask the actual shit and not just talk about fluff stuff all the time. So that would be a fabulous in for you. If you can, that would be my list. It would be women that work in male industries that I can just be freaking work wife friends with that get some of the things and that have the networks that can help me out.
Yeah. Good point. But are they active on LinkedIn?
Some of them are. Some of them are, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if anybody has any more questions, let's put them in the chat for Kimberly. And we appreciate you guys hopping on today. And Kimberly, I'm going to chat with you right now.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy co-working.
Okay, everybody. Does anybody want to share what they got done? What do we work on? Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, so I started creating in my head first who would the people the 100 would be to connect with. I started looking for some, and I went to my Notion and created a template to put those people in so I can keep track of them. And yeah, that's what I've been working on. And I messaged you. I've been listening to your stories on somewhere. Facebook or Instagram, because it's like one blur for me. And I love them. And then I wanted to message you.
Well, thank you. Who's next? Go, girl.
Okay, I'm so glad I got to come on. I was listening to this world's sexual health. It's like a 10-year declaration thing. And it's interesting because I'm used to doing this every Thursday. So even as that's like going on earlier, I'm like, oh, well, let me just open the LinkedIn thing because it'll probably end right when that's starting. And then, as I'm listening, I'm just kind of like messing around on LinkedIn. And then like I'm listening, I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's like so it was just really funny how the habit carried over, and I still got to listen to something cool, and they finally wrapped it up, and I got to come here and be like, yay, look, I'm with you energetically working on LinkedIn. And because I went on there actually and I was logged in, I had a couple of people message me on there because it's a worldwide thing, and they saw my name and they must have been, seeing that. So that was
Cool.
actually really cool. Yeah. So lots of celebrations. So thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share?
I got a post up that I actually thought I had already posted, but when I went to do a new post, the draft of the old one was still there. So I was like, well, good thing. Look at, I have that one already done. That's fantastic. And then I started prepping. So thank you for the recommendation about making a clip. So I just have to work on that now, but yeah, it's good.
Hey everybody, so I logged in a little bit late looking for the damn Zoom link. It was in the calendar. So know that now. I never have to go searching for it again. And I was putting together a list of potential prospects and people. It's made me think about people that I've already been reaching out to that I just haven't followed up on. So that was really good. And then I was able to just kind of quickly look at LinkedIn and just keep familiarizing myself with it, because it's not new to me. It's just I haven't been on there in so long. I'm just kind of slowly taking it in because there's been a lot of changes and I've been updating my information. So that's good.
Brilliant. So I had a little realization as I was doing my own LinkedIn that I felt I would share with you guys that is very relevant to what we talked about. So I was going through my messages and it was all about, so I'm telling you guys, like, we should be messaging people about connecting. And then I had to like stop and humble myself. I'm like, wait, am I going into this emotionally? Am I doing the same thing? Like, am I getting these messages and being open to having work husbands and work wives? Am I responding to their questions? Because if I'm not doing that, then the people that are like, it's going to carry over. So how am I going into my messaging the same? So I had to like shift my mindset on how I responded to messages to open that door a little bit more. Whereas before I would have closed that, tightened up that little door. Now I'm like, shoot, nope, I cannot say this and do something different. So it totally changed my mindset. And I responded to messages. That was what I spent the whole time doing, responding to messages, just answering questions and just taking the time to like go a little bit deeper with everybody. And brilliant. All right, y'all. Thank you all for coming. This has been great. Next week is the hot seat again. So, and it's cool because you don't have to, like, hot seat doesn't have to be your profile. It could be like, hey, I'm writing this post I need help on, or hey, like, what do you think about this article or these messages that I'm sending? So next week is a hot seat and then co-work. Thanks everybody for being here. Bye.